today I wanted to give a little talk on intuition and how exactly I came from a place of not being intuitive at all to being like more and more intuitive. Because I know that when I was not intuitive at all, I was trying to search on YouTube some videos of people explaining exactly how to step into your intuition, because it's something that is quite like frustrating and hard to explain. So I was trying to find people who can explain exactly how to do it, and I was finding nobody who was exactly explaining how they were doing it. So I want to make this video for you to show you that it's possible, and to talk to you and to explain to you exactly how I did it. Because now I really think that my intuition is with me all the fucking time, from making very small decisions in my day, such as deciding what I'm wearing, where I'm going, to taking very life-changing decisions. My intuition is with me all the time, and now I hear it more clearly and more strongly than before. So let's let's start. So I think I will like tell you my journey first, because you will probably relate to it. But yeah, by growing up, I never thought that I was somebody intuitive. Like at some point, I think like 3 years ago, I was searching desperately on YouTube a lot of videos about like intuition, intuitive things and stuff like that, and I was understanding the concept, and I knew that sometimes I was hearing like a little bit my intuition, but it was not strong at all. It was sometimes, and most of the time when I was hearing it, I was not listening to it, so I was doing like random stuff, and then I was noticing that yes, my intuition was right at first. But yeah, I came from the place of not hearing my intuition most of the time, and at some point I was even thinking that I had no intuition at all. But when you're somebody a little bit spiritual, like me, who like all the alternative stuff and spiritual stuff, like a lot of people talk about intuition, so I was like very interested in that, and I was searching tips and videos for explaining how to step into intuition. And I knew that at this moment, the problem was that I was always in my masculine energy, so always in an energy of doing. I was always in my mind rationalizing everything, and not really in my feminine energy at all, so not in this energy of being receiving. So when you are in your masculine energy all the time, you're just cut your intuition, because yeah, you are always in your mind, in a very logic mind, and it just like not give space for intuition to step in. Doesn't mean that you can't have some intuition, it just means that you will never listen to it, and it was what was happening with me. I had some intuition, but it was so just the second after having some intuition, my mind was rationalizing it. So I was, at the end, I was never listening to my intuition, to the point that I was thinking I had no intuition at all. But it was just that my mind and my rational part was taking and stepping over it all the time. So the first thing you can learn from that is that if you feel that you have no intuition, that's not true. Everybody has intuition. It's just we all just have different abilities to hear it, to listen to it, but we all have intuition. That's the first thing I want to say to you. You're not born without intuition. Absolutely not. If I can give you some hope, you have, I think, as much intuition as me. You just have to work on your ability to listen to it, because your intuition is always here. What is not here is you giving space to it, you giving credit to it. We will talk about it. So yeah, the first thing to put in your mind is to remind yourself that you have intuition. You have intuition. And it's exactly the first step I did on my journey. So 3 years ago, the first thing I decided to do to work on my intuition was basically convincing myself that I have a very good intuition, because I'm somebody who believes a lot in manifestation, law of attraction, and all those stuff. So I was thinking, okay, if I want to have a good intuition, I have first to fake it until you make it. So I put in my morning affirmation, I have a good intuition. I listen to my intuition, I hear my intuition, and I act depending on my intuition. That's what I put. And I repeated those sentences every single day for maybe 1 year, maybe more. Like I was doing it as my affirmation. And since that moment, I really felt a difference. Because once you're convinced that you have a good intuition, once you're convinced, even if at the moment you don't have external validation from it, like proof that you have a good intuition, if you already believe it, you will find proof. You will find evidence. Like every time I add like something that can be linked to my intuition, I was like, oh yeah, it's because I'm very intuitive. Oh yeah, it's because of my good intuition. So yeah, the first step that is very important is convincing yourself that you are fucking intuitive and you have a good intuition, even if you don't have external proof for that, even if for now you don't hear your intuition that much. You have to convince yourself you have a good intuition, first thing. So once you will become like confident in that, the real fucking shit will happen. So once I was convinced that I was somebody intuitive, I really started to hear my intuition. It means, what does it mean? It means that concretely, for me, the process is always the same. Like I have to make a decision or I'm doing something, and then like I have a thought that comes to me that is very grounded, very calm, very like gut feeling, very like, it's like that. It's not I think, it's I know. I know. For example, I'm packing my bag for going to some holidays, and I have stuff in front of me. I have an intuition, I have the feeling, I know that I have to take this specific pair of shoes. That's my intuition. I feel it very grounded, very gut feeling. And then my rational mind comes on top of it, trying to rationalize this choice. And then it's the most like important part, because your rational part will be like, no, actually I don't need this pair of shoes. I know that it's like from a logic part, I will not need it. And this is the dilemma. Like you always have your first intuition, and then you have your rational mind. And your ability to listen to your intuition will be your ability to make the difference between those two, notice that you have those two thoughts, and decide to listen to your intuition anyway. Because most of the time, like when I was saying I don't have intuition, it's because I had like those two layers, and I was always finishing by listening to the second layer of my mind, and I was like, oh, I have no intuition. No, it's just that every time I was choosing to listen to my logic and my rational part. But then when I tried to convince myself that I was very intuitive, I started to make the difference. I started to notice that I had those two feelings. And at first, like, it was very hard to decide to listen to my intuition, because intuition is not logic at all. Like, you will know something, but when you try to make it logical, it makes no sense. So when you resonate with fear, most of the time you don't listen to your intuition. So every time that I was listening to my fear, I was like, no, I will take the rational part, the rational option, But then, because I noticed that my intuition was saying something, when at the end, like, I'm going to these holidays, and at some point I'm like, oh my god, I need like this specific pair of shoes right now. That's why I had this intuition 2 weeks ago. When you begin to notice that, everything is one. Because when you will notice like those two layers, after that you will notice that every time your intuition was right, even if you don't listen to it. So you will start to consciously decide to to decide depending on your intuition. So next time that I was packing and I had an intuition of, oh, you should take this skirt, I'm taking it. And then like 2 weeks later I use it and I really need it, and I'm like, okay, that's why my intuition was saying that. It's exactly why. And it makes like a very positive reward. It will make a negative like feedback when you don't listen to your intuition, and a positive feedback when you listen to it. So the more you notice those two layers, the more you will reinforce your intuition. As I told you, like, to me it took like years, I think, to make it easier and easier. And at first I was hearing my intuition in very small details, in very like day-to-day shit of, oh, I should take that, I should not take that, I should. Yeah, for me it was always taking stuff for my bag, or when I was going to school and I was like taking stuff for the day, I was like, I need that, I don't need that, for the umbrella or for basic stuff. So yeah, it can be like very, very random shit at first. And then like I started to really hear my intuition in different things, such as timing. Like, I don't know how to explain that. It's basically like, for example, right now I need an apartment for September for my university year. So I'm searching for an apartment. But I have the deep down intuition that it's not the good timing. Like, actually, it's not the good timing. I should not search right now an apartment. I should start to look for an apartment at the end of July. And on top of it, I have my rational mind that is like, oh my god, no, you should start now, because you will have no apartment at the end of the month. You will find nothing. And yeah, my fear is coming on top of it. So I'm really noticing that, and I have to decide consciously, do I listen to my fear, or do I listen to my intuition and my love part and my faith in the universe of, okay, I have to trust the timing. So yeah, I had intuition on very random things. Now I have more intuition on timing, and to really feel deep down when is the good timing for me, for leaving a certain situation, for staying, for, yeah, everything is very linked to that. But what really changed my journey on intuition was basically my breakup, because I I have the feeling that I'm saying that to every single video, but that it's true. Like 7 months ago, I broke up with my boyfriend of the time, and it was like life changing for me. A lot of things changed for me at this moment. And at this precise moment, I decided to step and dive fully into my feminine energy. That was the subject of the previous video I recorded. But when I stepped into my feminine energy, it amplified my intuition so much. That's why at the beginning of the video, I was telling you that masculine energy is blocking your intuition. I know it, because when I fully dived into my feminine energy and forgot about masculine energy, my intuition came so easily and so abundantly that I was like, what's happening? Like, especially at this moment, I had a lot of intuition on meeting people. I don't know if it makes sense or not, but when I broke up with my boyfriend, at some point I was like, oh, I know that I will meet a certain person who does that. Like, specifically when I broke up with my boyfriend, I said to all of my friends, oh, I will meet somebody who dance. And like, I don't know if it was 1 month after that, I basically met a guy at salsa and bachata class, and it was by dancing. And it was the same, like I had like different things like that, and I was like, whoa, my intuition is really, really like screaming at me on those times, and I hear it like so much more than before. But it's just logic, because when you step into your feminine energy, you just like focus on being, really being and feeling things. So you just like hear so much more your intuition. So it's another thing that you can encounter in your way of recovering a very good intuition, is to give yourself more feminine energy. And if you want a whole guide on that, my last video is perfect for that. So yeah, feminine energy is fully connected to intuition. So since my breakup, like I'm more and more and more intuitive, and I'm more like confident in that, because at first when you try to listen to your intuition, you're like, okay, let's give it a try, but sometimes you give it a try only on very small things, and then like when you see like positive feedback from it, you start to be more confident in it. So you start to really like give to your intuition more space and give more credit to your intuition, even for bigger decisions. For example, on the intuition of timing, this year I just finished my second year of university. So in September I will start my third year of university, and I had the internal debate within myself of, oh, do I take a gap year between my second and third university year, or do I take a gap year between my third and my master? And I knew, like, I knew my intuition was saying to me, no, you know that it's better for you to take your gap year between third and master. But my rational part was more like, no, I want to take it now. I want to take it between the second and the third, because I can't anymore. I want to travel now, 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 now. That was my fear speaking for me, and I felt it, and I was like, okay, no, like, let's listen to your intuition. You know that you have things to leave in this year. It's in this one more year in university, so let's do that, and after that you will travel, you will do your stuff. So yeah, I think it's basically what I advise to you. So to convince yourself that you have a very good intuition, because you have a very good intuition. We all have a very good intuition. It's just a matter of letting the space for it. So convincing yourself and beginning to really notice this mechanism and this process in every time. For your intuition comes first, and then your rational mind. And at some point you will probably feel that you have problems and you struggle to differentiate those two layers. But there is one thing that is that really makes the difference, is that for knowing if it's your intuition or your mind, ask yourself, what do I try to convince myself? Because when you need to convince yourself, it's your mind. When you just know and it makes no sense, it's your gut feeling, it's your intuition. So if you try to add some arguments and convince yourself, that's your mind. If you're stressed about it, having to do it with force, it's not flowing, it's your mind. If it's totally flowing, relaxed, calm, it's your intuition. And it comes from very like two different places. You can also feel it. It comes from the gut or it comes from the mind. So yeah, that's what I can tell you. And probably that also you will feel that most of the time you have intuition on something that you really fear. Like most of the time, accepting your intuition will make you have to jump into fear. But that's also a good marker, a good sign that it's your intuition. If it's something that you fear, but at the same time you feel deep down that you know you should go there, that's your intuition. You should go there. That's where you belong. That's where you should go. Because if it's a situation who doesn't fit you, who doesn't feel right, your intuition will never say to you to go there. And you will not even fear it. If it's not something that is made for you, you will not even fear it. You fear it because your ego knows that if you go there, if you take this choice, you will change for good. But your ego doesn't want that. So when you are very excited for something and at the same time you're so scared of doing it, your intuition, your fucking intuition. So yeah, that's what I wanted to say. I don't know if the video was like a little bit messy or not, but it was what I wanted to say today. So yeah, you have a very good intuition, and leave a comment explaining your most random intuition experience. So an experience in which like you felt your intuition so bad and at the end it was right. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. Bye. Mwah. Bisous.